Welcome again to part two, and we're answering question on mental health, laziness, and burnout. And I'm just going to continue from where I stopped. We answered about five questions last week, and we are coming back to answer the rest of the question. So quickly and back to it. The next question that I have, which is the sixth question, is: can hardworking people also be lazy? There is something called selective laziness. You are hardworking, oh, you chose the job you want to do, oh, and you stay on it. But there are some processes that still are tedious to you that you cannot just imagine yourself spending time on, like filling timesheets, preparing reports, or you just want to avoid one difficult conversation or decision and procrastinate it. Who can relate to what I'm saying? You can do the work, oh, but abeg, nobody should tell me about report. Report is long thing. Filling time sheets is like mental gymnastics. I get it too, but that is somehow still laziness in some sort of way. Generally, I feel people aren't like lazy as a whole. They just choose what works for them. And the one you call red flag lazy are those ones that stay in their comfort zone and give excuses. And hard worker can also be lazy in some areas. Sometimes even me, I choose to sleep some on some days instead of getting anything done. You can be hardworking and can also be lazy. Then the next question is: as a manager, how do I know when my employee needs compassion and when they simply need accountability? Now, you need to look for patterns, consistency, communication, and ownership. As a great leader, you need to understand the psychology of humans and their behavior. I think it's something that comes naturally to me, but I also studied emotional intelligence. I can tell amongst my staff members who can thrive alone and who can thrive as a team. One time I had to fire somebody because they had like this negative spirit towards the company. Like, there was just something about them. They could not tell, oh, but me, I could tell. And immediately after I let that guy go, the business just kind of picked up in some sort of way. I mean, I'm not attributing it to anything spiritual, but I'm just saying that they just have, there's some people that you can just tell their aura is just very negative. Same way you can tell who needs a break or compassion or who is just being lazy and needs accountability. The other day, my HR sent me something and he didn't do it properly, like in the right documents. Me, I just sent it back to him and told him that he needed to do it before I looked at it. He wanted to whine me to say, oh, just look at it, I'll put it. I said, no, this is laziness. This is not about you being swamped at work. Go and get it done properly and then bring it out to me. We have to put one staff to on PIP instead of firing them because we figured that okay, this person is a high achiever, but maybe something must have been going on. And this was not even about maybe they were trying to resign or somebody was trying to put them. It had to do with something that had to do with their home front. So they were very distracted. And we figured out, and I put him on PIPs just so that he can get his head straight. But I later found out that truly he had like home front issues and then he had to sort it out and then he came back to normal. As a good manager, you need to like watch patterns. If someone who was communicating properly suddenly stops, then something is wrong. You need to check his tasks and know, okay, is this person overwhelmed by work? And then if the person is indeed overwhelmed by work, you need to reassign very fast, bring them back to not being burnt out. So as a manager, you can tell if you're a good manager who needs compassion and who needs accountability by watching their pattern and their consistency and communication. So the next question is: can burnout make someone look lazy? Unfortunately, burnout can make the most hardworking person look lazy. Yes. If you experience burnout, you can never be your best version, no matter how you try. It would affect your performance so clearly. You will come to work late, to even reply email self go tire you. You will always be absent-minded. You will always look distraught. You'll be overly quiet and you just be moping in the office. You will make mistakes, and that thing comes from like a deep emptiness inside you because you've given everything. You don't have any other thing to give. You are now working empty until you calibrate. And the funniest part of it, about people that are burnout is you might not even be the first to know. Your colleague will know before you, and they will just know that this person, there's something off about this person, even before you realize. Please, as a colleague, if you know anyone who suddenly becomes like this, let them be aware that they might be burnt out. And then the next question that I have here is, what are the first signs that someone is heading towards burnout before they completely crash? Hear me. Number one, you'll be irritable by little things. You'll just be irritated by little things. You'll forget things easily. You will constantly have headache. There's this headache that will just be constantly aching you. And then nothing will excite you anymore around you. You'll just be existing. And then Sunday evening, you already be having anxiety because the next day is Monday. And then you are always feeling guilty for resting and feel the need to catch up with things that are not even pursuing you. You just want to catch up with them. Working, but nothing is entering your brain. If any of these three signs that I've mentioned is you, then just know that you need a break before you crash out. Apply for that leave ASAP and take that leave immediately. And if you're an entrepreneur, you better take a leave and go and rest because you're about to crash out. Then the final question that I have here is, what's one thing Nigerians get completely wrong about burnout? I know I said that you should take a leave in my last answer, and that's before you crash out, because if you've completely burnt out, if you burnt out completely, it cannot be solved by go and sleep or take 1 week leave. Oh no, sometimes if you're completely burnt out, you have allowed a lot of things in your space, including work. You need to set some boundaries. Sometimes it's also bad management. You work in a company that doesn't have structure, a company that doesn't have defined KPIs, new process every day. They don't value you taking leave when it's due. And sometimes it's purpose. You have moved away from your why. You don't even know why you're doing what you're doing anymore. You are just existing in the company, in the office, and there's no way forward for you. And sometimes you simply need help. I know Nigerians are not big on therapy, but therapy is important. Therapy is good. Take some therapy and take some time out. That brings us to the end of the Q&A section. I was discussing this with my colleague. They also suggested that I do like a rapid fire answer, just quick answer to some questions, just this and that question. And I have a couple of them here. I've answered them here too, but I will just share my opinion with you. So the first question is, coffee or sleep? Me, Nnenna Madu, I choose sleep. Then the next question is, can vacation cure burnout? I'll say not really. Vacations can be stressful too. It depends on what you're going to go and do. Then the next question is, can money cure burnout? For me, not really. Money cannot cure burnout. However, money can buy you time so that you can delegate and give other people that work that wants to kill you for them to do for you. Number four question is, should everyone hustle? No. Stay productive. I dislike that word hustle. It sounds too chaotic. And you don't need chaos to make money. You just need strategy and productivity to make money. So everyone should not hustle, please. Leave hustle for chaotic people. Then, can changing jobs solve burnout? Yes. If your current place of work has bad management or bad work ethics or culture, you should change your job ASAP. Then the next question is work-life balance real? Yes. Fight for it. If your office is clamoring work life, you better fight for it and collect your life outside the work. Then the last quick question is therapy always necessary? Yes. Maybe not in this Lagos, because therapists in Lagos sef, I'm sure they are stressed out. But therapy is absolutely necessary and everyone should go for therapy. Then the final question that they asked me was, if you could remove one thing from your work life today, Nena, that is draining you, what would it be? More paying Lagos office rents. See, that bill, it increases quarterly. If somebody comes to me now and says, Nena, please take this building as a gift, I will be the most happiest person. So please, if you are my help and you're listening, please, I'm tired of paying Lagos rent. I'm tired of paying Lagos office rent. Please help my life. Anyways, that's all for today. I hope we enjoy the Q&A section, and I would also like to hear from you. That last question. If you could remove one thing from your work life today that is draining you, what would it be? Guys, please send your answers in the comment section. I would like to hear from you, and I would like to hear if you enjoyed this Q&A section with Nnenna Madu. Till next time, guys, this is Office Talks with Nnenna Madu, where the boardroom meets the break room, and today we answered questions. See ya. Bye. This episode is proudly supported by Life Friends app, your number one intergenerational app. Please go to Play Store and iOS to download Life Friends today. For collaborations and sponsorships and business partnership on Office Talks with Nnenna Madu, kindly send us an email to nnennamadubom@gmail.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on our YouTube page on Nnenna Madu's TV. See ya. Bye.